Why not?
I shared with you again
Dream team,
when I was at WrestleMania 2 in the Nassau Coliseum. Actually, closed circuit television. They closed out Chicago, and it was the Bulldogs against the Dream Team with luscious Johnny Valiant, who recently passed away, and a good friend of Evan Ginsberg.
Yep.
I got to tell you, as far as marking out for tag teams, Dream Team is one of the great tag teams of all time.
Thank you.
All time.
Thank you. I believe you really mean that, and
I do.
I know that I was proud of what we did, and Brutus is proud of that. We really got over here in the Northeast, especially in Canada, and wrestling the Bulldogs. They helped. It's just a good timing is everything really in professional wrestling.
Eric Bischoff was once asked, after the Monday Night Wars were all over with and he had lost, he was asked if there was one guy you could have had during the wars that you feel would have turned the tide, who would it have been? And I think Mike knows the answer. He turned and he said, that's easy, Vince McMahon. Now, my question to you is that when Vince McMahon became Mr. McMahon and started wrestling, getting physical, what was that like for you? To see this, this guy was your boss, and then all of a sudden he's all jacked up. He's in the ring. He's taking bumps. You must have
watching that, and I'm gone, but I'm thinking, God, I wish
you could belt him one.
I wish I was wrestling him.
Oh, there you go. He's probably damn it. Stone Cold has all the fun.
Well, speaking about, let me ask you this. Obviously, you're a very large man. Do you feel pressure to take anabolic steroids during your career to keep up with everybody, or are you purely natural? Because again, what I've read is how superhuman strength you had in articles many times. So,
were you ever tempted by any of that stuff?
Well, there was a doctor around there, Zahorian, 1979,
you know that guy.
And he kept pushing this stuff on me, and so I tried a little bit of it, and it made me irritable. And it made my face chubby, and I go, I don't need this shit. I got.
Saw me, and we right over to the rack and got some spandex stuff out, and he designed these gloves and stuff with metal and.
Well, speaking of that, so you had that sleeve, right? That's before they started with those.
Nobody had anything like that.
You would have been rich now, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people use it for gardening now and everything else. You've been a rich man. Listen, I want to jump ahead. We were talking about your Hall of Fame induction, but one of our favorite teams is the Dream Team. We've had Greg Valentine in studio. Great opportunity. You being a second-round Hall of Famer. Dream Team to me is one of the great teams. Can you just share your thoughts on Greg Valentine and Johnny Valiant?
Well, Greg, Greg and I were friends for a long time, even way before I came here. I used to watch his father in Florida, where I grew up. I used to go to the wrestling all the time when I was a kid. Most of the wrestlers, his father scared the shit out of me. Scared me to death. He just, look in his eye, you could tell this guy was mean, just mean. And you watched his work, and it was, he just pummeled everybody, and he was just a tough guy. So I always had a lot of respect for Greg. And then they put me and Greg together, and I think, a lot of times they did stuff up there just like throwing shit against the wall and see what sticks. And so they put me and Greg together. Greg, the the classic second generation wrestler, Brutus Beefcake, that Chippendale guy thing, completely thinking, this is going to be blah, blah, and we'll all get to sit back and laugh. Well, it didn't. Our styles are so different that the opposite attracted. And me being out there and then having Greg was being the tough, veteran, and me the new thing, and it caught on like crazy. Next thing you know, they're putting the world title belts on us, and this is tag team matches. We're really a part of the show. It's a big deal, and we're running around the country selling out arenas.
For months.
With
held the belt for
years
months.
With a tag team, with a tag team match on top, selling out arenas, and not little ones either. 20, 30,000 seat arenas, sell them out, do a return match, and bring it back and sell it out again. I mean, we did things with those belts that hardly had been done since, really. And I loved working with Greg, because he was, it's a good hand, great knowledge of the business. I, learned a lot from him, and it gave me a good guideline, because I'm not gonna be pummeled and beat up out there, and Greg's definitely not going to be pummeled and beat up out there. So we just pummeled and beat up everybody, and we had a lot of guys didn't really like us. So the Killer Bees, the Rougeos, these guys, that guys. I mean, but it really helped me as my turn to babyface because we really gained great respect as bad guys. We became the bad guys that people actually liked.
Yeah.
It was that began that generation where people started liking the bad guys. We had more fights in the stands on our shows from the people cheering for us and the people booing us. And I mean, they either liked us or they hated us bad. And we'd have to stop the matches all the time because people would be out there fighting, and security had to break them up. And we'd be outside the ring, and then as soon as the security got things calmed down, we'd get back up in the ring and start wrestling again.
Well, speaking of bad guys, so WrestleMania 2, right? I was there at the Nassau Coliseum in New York. It was with Piper, Mr. T, but they had that closed circuit round. And if I remember properly, they closed out New York and Chicago, where you closed out against the British Bulldogs, the Dream Team against British Bulldogs. Thoughts on Dynamite Kid? Was he the bully that the dirt sheets talked about? Was he as bad as they say he was?
Bad how?
You know, being rough with the gags, you know.
I mean, whether it's true or false,
Yeah.
he had a rep of being very harsh to certain
Yeah.
people. Is
And
there
quite
any
the bully.
validity
Absolutely
to it?
he was.
Okay, okay.
I first
Fair
met
enough.
Dynamite in Japan, and he had that more Japanese style way of working, you know. And Davey Boy, you know, had that more like British style of working. And they put those guys with us. We had to retrain them
Interesting.
how to have a match American style with some psychology into it. It's telling a story out there that the people can understand, and involving, bringing the people into the match, letting them feel like they are part of it. That's one of the biggest things that's missing from this whole thing now. They're not, the people just aren't connecting. They're out there cheering, and they like to watch high flying.